Usually when we talk about driving, right, there's this expectation of basic fundamental safety.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Like you sit behind the wheel, you look out the windshield, and you steer the vehicle. That's just how it works.
The bare minimum.
Exactly. But imagine like getting into a massive, heavy-duty, fully loaded F-250. You merge onto a busy interstate, and then you tightly squeeze your eyes shut while keeping your foot completely slammed on the gas pedal.
Oh, man. That is a genuinely terrifying image.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't last 30 seconds before, wrapping that truck around a guardrail.
No, you'd be done. Yet if you are a construction business owner right now and you're running your company without a documented granular annual growth plan.
Which so many do, by the way.
Right. If you're doing that, you are basically doing exactly what we just described.
Yeah.
You are driving a very heavy, very expensive machine with your eyes completely closed, and you're just, you're hoping you don't hit a wall.
Yeah. Relying entirely on luck.
Exactly. So, in today's deep dive, we are talking directly to you. You are the construction business owner who is out there, like, putting in the brutal hours, grinding through the mud, dealing with delayed materials.
Vanished subcontract.
Oh, the vanished subs, yeah, every single day. But you're actually looking to scale, right? Today, we are going to fix that blind driving.
We really are. We're pulling from this incredible set of materials designed specifically for the Scaling Legends audience today.
Yeah, it's really good stuff.
It is. And our mission today is to break down the Contractor's annual growth plan framework, because this is really all about moving from being a purely reactive contractor, the person whose entire day is literally just putting out chaotic job site fires.
Right, running from fire to fire.
Yeah, exactly. Moving from that to becoming a true scaling legend with a predictable, stress-tested machine.
So I have to ask you directly as you're listening to this right now, are you stuck at that $1.5 million revenue mark?
The classic ceiling.
It really is. Does it feel like an invisible ceiling that you just can't break through? Or are you, finally ready to push to $5 million and beyond? Because the difference, and this is crucial, the difference isn't about working harder.
No, you already work 80 hours a week. You physically can't work harder.
Exactly. The difference is the blueprint. Before we can frame the house, we need the architectural plans. We have to move away from this philosophical, vague need for a plan and get down to the cold, hard math of your revenue.
Yeah, the math doesn't lie. And the very first step here is acknowledging the vast difference between a goal and a plan. Because, a goal is vague.
It's a wish, basically.
It is. It's a wish you make on New Year's Eve. I want to hit $5 million this year.
Sounds great on paper.
It sounds fantastic on paper. But it gives you absolutely zero direction on a random rainy Tuesday in March when your entire crew is just standing around.
Right, because a goal is just, it's just a number floating in the clouds. It doesn't actually tell you who to hire or where to spend your marketing dollars or, honestly, what jobs to even bid on.
Precisely. A plan, on the other hand, is hyper-specific. It is mathematically grounded. So a plan sounds more like this. To hit my target, I need 8 qualified leads per week. I need them to come from 3 specific marketing channels.
Wow, okay, so getting really granular.
Oh, extremely. We need to close those leads at a 35% win rate with an average gross job size of $65,000. And to execute that volume, those jobs need to be staffed by 1 project manager and 3 lead carpenters.
See, the difference there is crazy. One is literally a wish, and the other is a mathematical certainty, if you simply execute the steps.
Exactly. Because relying on hope just isn't a business strategy. In fact, according to Smart Business Automator's Market Intelligence Report, companies with written annual plans grow 30% faster than those without.
30% faster, just from doing the math and getting it out of your head and onto paper?
Just from writing it down and tracking it, yeah.
That's wild. Okay, let's unpack this a bit because we need to look at the first core pillar of this framework, which is sales targets. We are not just throwing a revenue target at the wall to see what sticks here.
No, you have to completely reverse engineer the math.
Right. And the material gives this brilliant concrete example of how to do this. So let's say you want to hit $3 million in revenue this year, right? And your average historical job size is $50,000.
Right.
Simple division tells you that you need exactly 60 completed jobs for the year.
Which suddenly, it takes this massive, intimidating $3 million mountain and turns it into a very manageable reality. I mean, 60 jobs?
That's what, roughly 5 jobs a month?
Yeah, exactly 5 a month.
But let's keep working backward, right? Because you can't just go out, talk to 60 people and get 60 signatures. That's not how sales works.
I wish it was, but no.
Right. So if your historical close rate is 30%, meaning you win about 3 out of every 10 bids you submit, you actually need 200 qualified leads to come through your door over the course of the year.
Right. And if you break that down further, it comes out to about 16 to 17 leads a month. Roughly 4 leads a week.
4 leads a week?
Yeah. And now you know exactly what your sales and marketing engine actually needs to produce every single week. If you get to Friday and you only had 1 lead come in, you know you are definitively behind schedule.
Okay, hold on. I got to push back on this.
Okay, go for it.
Calculating every single lead like that. Doesn't that sound like it would turn a builder into a full-time spreadsheet manager? Like obsessing over a weekly lead quota, doesn't that kill the actual joy of the trade?
Yeah.
You didn't get into construction to become a data analyst.
Well, I hear that all the time, but it's actually the exact opposite.
Really?
Yeah, because living inside a spreadsheet is miserable, I agree. But having a simple scoreboard, that completely removes the stress of the unknown. Think about the crushing anxiety of waking up in October, realizing you are $1 million short of your year-end goal and having absolutely no idea why it happened, or worse, how to fix it before the winter slowdown hits.
Oh man, yeah. That is a terrible feeling.
It's the worst. By shrinking a massive, intimidating yearly goal down to a weekly metric like just needing 4 leads this week, you regain absolute control.
Yeah.
You know exactly if you're winning or losing the week by Friday afternoon.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So let's say I buy into the math. I need 4 leads this week. How do I actually get them? And I guess more importantly, if my internal operations are a complete mess, how do I process those leads without the wheels completely falling off the truck?
That's the $1 million question.
Right, because marketing brings the water, but operations is the plumbing. If your pipes are leaky, pumping more water into the house is just going to flood the basement.
That is a perfect analogy. And that brings us directly into the mechanics of building the engine, because you need a predictable way to generate those leads. You need a marketing engine that doesn't just, rely on luck.
Wait. I thought word of mouth referrals were basically the gold standard in construction. Like if you do incredible work, you leave the job site clean, the client is thrilled, your phone is going to ring. Isn't relying on your reputation the best marketing engine you can actually have?
What's fascinating here is how often that exact belief traps amazing, highly skilled builders at that $1.5 million ceiling.
Really? Traps them?
Yes, because building a business solely on word of mouth is like building a custom home on uncompacted soil.
Ooh, okay.
We might hold up a single-story house just fine for a few years, right?
Okay.
But the second you try to build a massive second story on top of it, the foundation cracks.
Because it can't handle the weight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Referrals are wonderful. They have a high close rate. They validate your craftsmanship. But referrals are a bonus. They're completely unpredictable.
That's true. You can't control when a past client talks about you.
Right. You cannot go to the bank to secure a loan for a massive new piece of heavy equipment based on the hope, the pure hope, that someone mentions your name favorably at a neighborhood barbecue next weekend.
Wow. Yeah, that is a harsh reality to face. So if referrals are just the uncompacted soil, what does the actual concrete foundation of a marketing engine look like?
Well, the materials highlight the highest ROI tactics for local contractors right now, and it is remarkably straightforward.
Okay, what is it?
It starts with Google Business Profile Optimization.
Oh, like the map stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
When a homeowner searches for a kitchen remodeler or a commercial roofer in your specific city, your business needs to show up in that top map pack.
Right.
Pair that with targeted local SEO search engine optimization, so your website actually ranks for the specific services you provide. And finally, a commitment to creating just one piece of valuable organic content per week.
One piece. That's it.
Just one. Maybe it is a quick 2-minute video recorded on your phone, walking through a current job site, explaining a common framing challenge and how your crew solved it.
Oh, that's easy. Anyone can do that.
Exactly. And that builds a predictable, controllable faucet of leads that you can turn up when you need to grow and just turn down when you're booked out.
But getting the leads is only half the battle, right? Like we said, this transitions us perfectly into your internal plumbing. Our materials point out that for most contractors under the $5 million mark, the biggest bottlenecks killing their efficiency are almost always estimating or scheduling.
Oh, it is the classic contractor trap.
Oh, so?
Well, the owner is exhausted, right? They're doing takeoffs, calculating the exact material and labor costs from blueprints at midnight at their kitchen table because they spent all day putting out fires on site.
Yeah, the midnight oil.
Right. Or conversely, you have a crew of 5 guys standing around an empty dirt lot on a Tuesday morning, burning payroll because the lumber wasn't scheduled to arrive until Wednesday.
Ugh, just bleeding money. But when you are stuck in that cycle of chaos, how do you actually fix it without completely overwhelming your team? I feel like if you try to change everything at once, everyone just revolts.
Oh, they will absolutely revolt. But the rule in the framework is wonderfully simple, and it protects you from that exact mutiny.
What's the rule?
Pick and fix exactly one system bottleneck per quarter.
Just one.
Just one. Do not try to overhaul your entire operation at once. If estimating is choking the business and keeping you up until midnight, spend the next 90 days strictly focused on documenting, streamlining, and delegating your estimating process.
So find a software, train an estimator, build a template.
That is it. Just fix that one thing. Then next quarter, you can tackle the scheduling nightmare.
I love that. Incremental, hyper-focused progress instead of this overwhelming operational overhaul. So, okay, you fix the estimating bottleneck, the marketing engine is humming, the leads are pouring in. The immediate nightmare you face now is that you physically do not have the hands to swing the hammers.
Right, the human bottleneck.
Exactly. Let's transition from the cold mechanics of the business to the human element.
The lifeblood of the entire operation. This framework calls it the hiring pipeline. And the golden rule here is a complete mindset shift. Always be recruiting.
Always.
Always. You need to be actively looking for talent, having coffee with superintendents, and reviewing resumes even when you are 100% fully staffed.
Okay. Always be recruiting when you're fully staffed sounds.
Yeah.
It sounds like paying a guy to sit in the passenger seat of the truck just in case the driver gets tired.
I get how it sounds, but
Like, why spend the time, energy, and money interviewing people when there are literally no empty seats in the company?
because in construction, an empty seat doesn't just mean a minor inconvenience, you know? It means a cascading failure.
Okay, walk me through that.
Let's say you just landed that massive multi-million-dollar commercial job you've been pitching for 6 months. You are thrilled. But suddenly your lead superintendent gets poached by a competitor, or you realize the scope requires 3 more specialized carpenters by Monday. Yeah. If you have to scramble to hire in a panic, the financial sting is catastrophic.
Yeah.
The framework highlights that the cost of scramble hiring is 3 to 5 times the cost of simply maintaining a warm pipeline of potential candidates.
Wait, really? 3 to 5 times the cost? How does a panic hire get that expensive?
Because rushed hires demand higher salary premiums, right?
Yeah.
You have absolutely no leverage.
Yeah. I need you tomorrow. Name your price.
Exactly. Plus, you skip thorough reference checks, which leads to costly mistakes on the job site. But most importantly, the delay in getting the project started eats your profit margin alive through liquidated damages or just extended overhead.
That makes total sense.
By continuously networking, keeping a roster of interested talent, and building relationships before you need them, you just make a warm phone call when you win a bid.
Yeah.
You don't panic. You don't settle for the first person who walks onto the site with a tool belt.
Yeah, that paradigm shift completely protects the business. It basically builds a moat around your projects, but what protects the owner?
Yeah, the most important part.
Right, because building a massive business means absolutely nothing if you have a heart attack at 50. This brings us to the core philosophy of the entire framework. The business must serve your life, not the other way around.
Which is something so many ambitious owners completely forget.
They really do.
They accidentally become the lowest paid, most stressed out employees of the monster they created.
Yeah, working for their own company instead of owning it.
Precisely. This framework insists that before you finalize a single business goal, you must set specific personal targets.
Okay, look what?
You need a hard vacation target. Like, how many weeks will you be completely unplugged without checking your phone? You need an income target that actually reflects the massive financial risk you are taking by running a construction company.
Not just a salary, but reward for the risk.
Right. And you need a weekly hours target. Are you committing to working 40 hours? 50.
The profound kicker here is the mandate attached to those personal goals. If your current business model cannot deliver those personal targets, if hitting $3 million requires you to work 80 hours a week and skip your kids' baseball games, then the business itself must be restructured.
Absolutely.
You do not sacrifice the life to feed the business. You fix the pricing, the team, or the systems so the business actually sustains the life.
Which brings us to a really critical pivot point in this deep dive.
Yeah.
Because we have the targets, the marketing engine, the operations, the crew, and the personal boundaries, right?
The whole blueprint.
But a brilliant plan on paper usually just collects dust in the truck's glove box.
Right.
So how do we execute this without drowning in administrative paperwork?
Well, execution is the only thing that actually matters, right? Ideas are cheap.
Execution absolutely separates the winners from the losers. Smart Business Automator's Market Intelligence Report shows contractors who implement structured planning frameworks outperform their peers on every metric.
On every metric. That's huge. And to ensure that execution actually happens, the framework introduces the retreat concept.
I love this concept.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
You don't just write this plan in January, feel really good about yourself, and then forget it exists by February. You block out 2 full days per quarter, completely off-grid.
Foofo.
No phone, no email, no emergency site visits. You sit down with your plan, you review what actually worked, you brutally confront what didn't, and you adjust the trajectory for the next 90 days.
And this is key. You cannot do it inside an echo chamber. The framework demands peer accountability.
Okay, how does that work?
The recommendation is to find 2 to 3 peers at your exact revenue level.
Like local guys.
No, not direct competitors in your local market, because people tend to hide their flaws from competitors, obviously.
Sure.
You want non-competing peers in the broader industry. And you meet with them monthly to share your actual numbers. You open the books.
Man, I can imagine the sheer physical reaction to that. Like sitting at a table with 3 other sharp builders and having to literally slide a piece of paper across the table that shows your profit margins are bleeding because you botched an estimate. That is terrifying.
Oh, it is terrifying. The vulnerability is intense. But that emotional anger is exactly why it works.
Because of the pressure.
Yes, the pure pressure alone. Knowing you have to face other successful owners in 30 days and admit whether you hit your targets or just made excuses, that drives 20% or more better execution.
Wow.
You simply do not want to be the person showing up month after month with bad numbers and a list of complaints about the economy.
Yeah, nobody wants to be that guy. Okay, so we have the strategy, the off-grid retreats, the terrifying accountability groups, but let's get into the tactical trenches here.
Let's do it.
Because even with all of this, scaling a construction company traditionally means burying yourself under an avalanche of paperwork. How are modern contractors executing this without having to hire a massive, highly expensive administrative staff? Let's talk about the AI platform mentioned in our materials, because the way it solves the daily chaos is just fascinating.
It really is. And this raises the ultimate question of leverage. How do you do significantly more volume without just throwing more warm bodies at the problem?
Right.
The AI platform they reference is built specifically to handle the administrative avalanche of construction. Think about the daily reality of a project manager. They are spending half their day just hunting down documents.
Oh, easily.
The platform provides smart document organization. It automatically tags, sorts, and categorizes project photos, plans, permits, RFIs, and submittals.
Okay, let's ground that in reality for a second, right? Because an RFI, request for information, happens when the architectural drawings don't match the actual dirt on the site.
Happens all the time.
Exactly. The PM has to stop work, draft a detailed question, send it to the architect, and wait. And a submittal is the agonizing process of getting specific materials, like a particular grade of steel or a paint color, approved before ordering. The platform just organizes all of that instantly.
It organizes it, but it goes so much deeper with document intelligence.
Okay, meaning what?
The AI literally extracts critical details from those complex specs and architectural drawings. It has a natural language smart search. So instead of a PM sitting in a muddy trailer squinting at a coffee-stained blueprint.
Right, or digging through endless digital folders for an hour.
Exactly. Instead of doing that, they just ask the system a question like, what is the approved fire rating for the doors on the second floor? And it instantly pulls the exact spec.
Are you kidding?
Nope. It'll even draft RFI responses using the historical context of the entire project.
That is incredible. But okay, I have to play devil's advocate here.
Go ahead.
With all these tech features, right? This massive digital brain scanning documents and drafting responses, doesn't the industry start to feel too sterile? Doesn't a contractor lose that visceral, boots-on-the-ground connection to the dirt, the wood, and the crew?
It is a very common fear to think technology pulls you away from the site. But reality proves it to be the exact opposite.
Really?
Yeah. Think about what that project manager is doing right now. They are trapped inside the trailer, staring at a laptop, arguing over email threads about change orders. That is not boots on the ground.
Oh, that's a great point.
By letting the AI handle the tedious administration, by letting it run schedule risk detection to spot material delays before they happen, or using it to monitor budget and variance insights in real time, you're actually freeing up that human being.
So the AI takes over the desk work so the human can get back to the actual building.
Exactly. The project manager can actually walk the site, talk to the foreman, check the physical quality of the framing, and handle more concurrent jobs without burning out.
That makes total sense.
Let's say a client wants to move a load-bearing wall midway through a build. That is a chaotic change order.
Nightmare. Yeah.
The AI platform provides change order impact analysis, instantly evaluating how moving that wall affects the timeline, the material costs, and the downstream trades. It does automated report generation, creates daily log summaries from rambling field notes, and runs compliance and spec checking to catch gaps before they become expensive tearouts.
Man. And because every contractor runs their business a little differently, you can build custom AI workflows tailored to your specific operational quirks, right? And use API and ERP integrations to connect it directly into your existing accounting software.
Yep.
So it basically operates as an overall AI project assistant that never sleeps, never complains, and literally never loses a document.
Which perfectly aligns with the entire theme of our discussion today. You use the growth plan to set the architectural direction, and you use massive leverage like solid systems and AI to actually carry the heavy load.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, as you head out to the job site today? Let's quickly recap this journey. You are moving away from vague cloud-level wishes. You are embracing the cold math of reverse-engineered sales targets.
Right.
You are building predictable marketing engines on solid foundations instead of just praying for referrals. You are always recruiting to protect your timelines, and you are using incredible tech leverage to reclaim your personal life, hit your income targets, and actually take a vacation without your phone ringing.
It's huge.
It is the ultimate roadmap to smashing right through that revenue ceiling you've been banging your head against for years.
You know, I want to leave everyone with a final, somewhat provocative thought to mull over as they drive to the site today.
Okay, let's hear it.
We constantly blame external factors for our business plateaus. We blame a lack of good local labor, we blame supply chain issues, and we blame a tough economy. But what if the biggest bottleneck to your company's growth isn't any of those things? What if the biggest bottleneck is your own reluctance to put down the hammer, step out of the dirt, and actually pick up the strategic plan?
Wow. That is a heavy truth to confront. It really is a definitive choice between working in the business as an employee and working on the business as an owner. And you have the blueprint now.
Right.
If you want to step up as a scaling legend, make sure you subscribe, rate, and review the show on your preferred platform. Share this with your team or colleagues who need to hear it, and be sure to visit smartbusinessautomator.com to learn more. Because at the end of the day, you have a massive, heavy-duty vehicle at your command. It is time to open your eyes, grab the wheel with both hands, and finally see exactly where you are driving.